we're talking about a negative or a positive emotion, that when you really made contact with that emotion, there was a sense of something flowing through you. Could have been joy, could have been a sense of sadness, but there was a flow. Did you notice that when you were stuck in the story, there was no flow? It was your mind creating the boundaries and the parameters and the cause and effect and like the stage setting. You were focusing on the stage setting in which something occurred. The minute you contacted the emotion, regardless of what it was, something flowed. We're actually living in a universe that is all flow. It really is. The whole universe we're discovering is just a giant plasma field. From the smallest particles to the largest conglomerations of material substance. It's a huge plasma field that responds to electrical energy and all kinds of motion. This is actually what connects all the dimensions, from thought to feeling to the dense matter, is that it's essentially one continuous field. And that field contains various sizes of particles, from the very smallest to the largest conglomerates of, shape, such as this podium, or the building, or the planet, or the sun. In other words, we can go from very large conglomerations of matter to the tiniest particles, and yet within each one of them is a whole universe. That's the awesome thing about our universe, is that it's a universe within a universe. We look at the atoms and we find that surrounding the atoms is virtually a solar system of electrons and neutrons and protons, and then the tinier particles, the neutrinos, and it goes on and on down to the tinier and the tinier particles. Yeshua said that the smallest particle in the universe, he called it an adamantine particle, and we don't have anything to write on, do we? It just occurred to me. Did we?
I know where I can go get you a big board that you
can... A board? Okay, well, that'd be great. I don't want you to miss this, and I don't need it right now, but I think it would be helpful later on. The tiniest particle, he called the adamantine particle. And it differs from the other particles in that all of the other particles are created by resistance of energy accumulating mass. In other words, energy is creating mass. Even the tiniest, the muons, the tiniest particles that are barely particles at all, they're virtually energy. But it's been discovered that that energy passing through some kind of goo builds up drag, and that drag creates the particle. Well, that's exactly what's been described. I mean, not to be a little colorful in my language, but essentially that is what is happening at the tiniest particle level, except for the adamantine particles that are more basic than that. And the adamantine particles actually are a self-creating particle. They actually create their own density. They're not created because of resistance. They actually are self-creating. And in that sense, they are the physical manifestation of love. And they are part of this continuous field, this one continuous field of all potential, which Yeshua calls spirit. And that one continuous field is driven by the highest form of energy, which he calls love. When Yeshua talks about love, it's very obvious that he's not always referring to this affectionate feeling that we have for our closest friends and our family and the things we're enthusiastic about and the places we love. That we say, oh, I love that. He's talking about a proactive force that is driven toward the creation of all things and the creation of the best in any given situation. It is that driving force, that driving proactive force that seeks to elevate, that seeks to find the best in any situation, the best in any person, the highest potential. And expands and grows at the highest level. I was giving you a demonstration of how, in fact, you are loved by allowing you to see how you related to these lower potentials. That once you had no story that they served, you let go of them. There were essentially the lower energies, the lower potentials were not that important to you. And yet the more we began to embrace the positive thoughts of enthusiasm and love and exhilaration, the more you began to say, yeah, the more you were literally giving yourself to the expansion of those emotions. That's the driving force, that's the force that created the universe. In the beginning was the Word, and the Word was yes. Yes. The ultimate affirmation. Nothing held back, nothing reserved, nothing negative. Just yes. The ultimate and complete affirmation that I am, and so be it. Everything is an extension of the original I am from which it was created. The original I am, which is the source of all love. And as you allow the I am that you are to be that love, you literally grow in the positive expressions of life. And so I think that's the best way of illustrating what Yeshua was talking about when he was referring to love as an energy, is that it is an impelling, compelling drive. It's a force that literally brings out the best in everything and gravitates to the best and attracts itself to the best. And it lets go quickly of those things which don't work, which are less than the best that could be. So, we can definitely tell stories that bring out our best, that inspire creativity. But those are not the stories that we bore our friends with. Okay? Those are not the stories that cause us to sit in a bar trying to figure out what went wrong. Those are not the stories that drive us to addiction. The great stories are the ones that allow us to find within the story the truth of something, the greatness that we are, the best that we are. It allows us to gift our friends with an understanding of who we are, ideally so that once we know each other, the stories are not necessary. When you really are with your best friend, you know there's a lot less need to talk than when you're with somebody that you're just getting to know. When you're just getting to know somebody, it's a chatterbox situation. You're comparing and sharing and going on and on and on. When you're with your best friend or your loved one, sometimes you can sit for hours and say nothing. You